Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Wakaha Kodash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth, in sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever, the 144,000. And the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations that look like those heathen nations. This is not a black thing. And to the few Wakwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And this won't be a long lesson, but this is an article that I've been sitting on for a couple of days, and I'd like to get some quick scriptures because, you know, I was listening to the a video, actually a live show of Elder Apostle Tahar, and he was mentioning how, you know, that covering cast over that protection that Edom had. All right, it's being removed. You know, the Lord is the Edomites are catching all kind of grief and hell. You know, he said he would put the curses upon our enemies, and they're you know, they're losing their wealth, their health, you know, their hope, things that I pray that the Lord take from them. All right, their jobs, their way of life, their businesses is all starting to happen to them. Living paycheck to paycheck, they're becoming the working poor. All right, when they were once the very comfortable middle class. But this is Deuteronomy 30:7, and it reads, "The Lord and Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thy enemies and upon them that hate thee, which persecute thee." So these Edomites, you know, has persecuted us. And it's funny how they complain about the Venezuelans and, you know, the other refugees and this, that, and the other, and, you know, and they're taking this and they're taking that, and they fail to acknowledge that everything that they have, they've gotten through rape, rob, and murder. That their forefathers did the same thing that the Venezuelans are doing today. Flip side of that coin, though, is that the Venezuelans are indigenous to the Americas. So-called white people were not. All right? And they did the same thing all over the Americas. So it wasn't just, you know, the same thing, because the best parts of Venezuela is controlled by, guess who? So-called white people. The people in South America, they don't have control over their countries. And when you go to their countries, when you get to the top, to the government, it's white people sitting in office over those brown people. Or if it's not a so-called white person, it's some puppet that they set up that does their bidding. They're not ruling in favor of the people of the land. And just like in Africa, you know, South America is full of wealth, and the wealth that flows out of that country, it doesn't really benefit the people who live there. You know, Africa is full of wealth, but collectively they're not, you know, wealthy. But Edomites are wealthy because of them. I think China ran over there and locked everything down, you know, to do business, because the Chinese, you know, sought to entreat them better, that they may set themselves up. All right. But, you know, I don't want to change the subject. But let me grab this scripture too. Because there's no coincidences, and the Lord is guiding everything and everyone. And he's setting up that's Psalms. I want Proverbs. And he's setting up the day of destruction here in Babylon. All right. This is Proverbs 16:4. And it reads, Yahweh hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. All right? Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to Yahweh. Though hand join in hand, they shall not be unpunished. So punishment is coming to Edom and everyone that's joined unto them. And Edom has been very proud, even in their fall. You know, they've been proud. So I want to read these messages, and I have an article that you know on the screen. I tried to pull up the exact one that he sent me, but I have a client, and so it's bittersweet because, you know, I've already come to the, you know, I've had these conversations, very frank and open talks with this particular man. He's been a client. He was a client of mine for many years. And I watched him go from millionaire, lose everything to a spiteful woman, become a broke working class dude, and then became a millionaire again. And now he's losing it all again. All right. And he's got a wife that's, you know, quite substantially younger than him, that he's worried that she's going to start banging other men because, you know, he's so physically jacked up. And he really can't give her, you know, the physical attention that she desires. She's an attractive, you know, Elamite woman, very brown Elamite woman with, you know, some great big old girls. She's an attractive girl. All right. And, you know, and now he's a father because, you know, he's like, damn, how do I become a father when most guys are becoming grandfathers? Because, you know, this guy's damn near 60 years old. He's just, you know, a couple years shy of 60. And he's got a wife that's, you know, just like 35. And our 2.5, almost 3-year-old now. So, nevertheless, you know, he's so physically messed up. He can't work out anymore. So that was yet another client that I lost because he can't really train. All right. So I can't make money training him. But, you know, he still likes to talk to me. And, you know, he knows all about, you know, the tribes and the people. And, you know, and he would even call me to get scriptures so he can go back and forth with his sister, because his sister's some, you know, the J freak. We won't say that word, that earth pig name. All right. So he just loves to, you know, to get under his sister's skin. But nevertheless, the Lord is really jacking this dude up. All right. And I remember hearing him say, you know, I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. You know, I went to an Ivy League college. You know, I finished school. You know, I worked hard. I did all these things. You know, why is all this happening? Why is this happening to me? And then I said, well, you know, remember that thing about the curses? Yeah. So this is now this goes back to March. This particular email, or not email, but text that I'm about to read. All right. It says, my car broke down on my drive to Orland Hills today, and I have to get it towed to the Northside Toyota. No idea what I'm dealing with yet. I have Zelle. I can send you the money because, you know, he owed me money at the, you know, and he was coming for a session. And he couldn't make it. All right. So that was that was March 18th. This is March 30th. So, you know, so after all that mess, he just, you know, sat on the sidelines. He's going to come train again. And here's the next message. I blew my meniscus in my right knee. And my car broke down and I had to get a new one. He said, needless to say, I won't be in this week. You know, I skipped some stuff that didn't really need to be read. Getting an MRI aimed to my knee next Tuesday is not great. So the MRI says, I have a torn meniscus, cartilage damage, and arthritis. I'm depressed. I can barely walk. We both need a break. And I put in, we both need a break, man. All right. And then I sent him an article about Fauci. And I mean, he sent me an article from the New York Post because we went back and forth about, you know, the Band-Aid, and he took 3 of them and he's all jacked up from that. All right. And then he sent me the article from New York Times, and it says sick lies. After years of falsehoods, health official admits U.S. funded dangerous virus research at China's, you know, so-and-so. And I'm gonna show, and that was the cover of the New York Times. He sent that to me because he was defending this guy and defending the science, and I was speaking against it. And I just text back, he should be hung. He texts back, I hate them all. And then he said, then I said, yeah, me too. He said they should be taking care of Liam Neeson style, because he's a big fan of Liam Neeson. All right. Then this is recent. I'm going for heart surgery on Monday. I'm not doing well, my friend. And you know, so we had some conversations after that. And then he sent me, he said it was rough, but I made it through, home resting. All right. Real wake up call. And then he was saying, you know, because I remember we had the conversation in March, you know, the last time I had saw him, and he told me that he wished he had not taken the Band-Aids. You know, he hadn't been the same since. And then he wished he had listened to me. He told me that. So now to this article, okay? So let's go into this article. Something's poisoning America's farms. Scientists fear forever chemicals. And there's more, and so it's not just the farms, you know, because I was always talking about how the food is tainted and this, that, and the other. But it says cornfields where biosolids from Synargo were used as fertilizer near Grandview, Texas on July 17, 2024, which goes in, and what do they tell you? To trust the science. So what brilliant guy, well, let's just read it. For decades, farmers across America have been encouraged by federal government to spread municipal sewage on millions of acres of farmlands as fertilizer. So we as Americans living in this country, your government decided that it was okay for them to use human fecal matter, literally, all right, you know, and sprinkle it, sewage, American sewage, over the crops, which we all eat from it. And I guarantee you, most Americans did not know this. I did not know this. And that just goes to show you, Esau Edom is not fit to rule. All right, he's not fit to rule. What's that scripture? We will eat our bread defiled. Yeah, Ezekiel 4:13. And Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their bread, eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I would drive them. So no matter how well we were eating and keeping the laws, etc., you had a government that spread sewage on millions of acres of farmlands as fertilizer. It was rich in nutrients, they said. It helped keep the sludge out of the landfills by growing. The body of research shows that the black sludge made it from the sewage that flows from homes and factories can contain heavy concentrations of chemicals through increased risk of certain types of cancer and cause birth defects, development delays in children, known as forever chemicals because of their longevity. These toxic contaminants are being detected sometimes at high levels on farmlands across the country, including Texas, Maine, Michigan, New York, and Tennessee. In some cases, chemicals are suspected of sickening or killing livestock and are turning up in produce, farmers are beginning to fear for their own health. Now, I've actually read enough of it, but I'll read a little bit more. It says the national scale of farmland contaminations by these chemicals, which are used in everything from microwave popcorn bags to firefighting gear to non-stick pans, stain-resistant carpets, is only now starting to become apparent. There are lawsuits against providers of fertilizer as well as against environmental protection agencies alleging the agency failed to regulate chemicals known as PFAS. So that just goes to show you that these people are just mad scientists and not fit for rulership and don't give a fuck about the citizens of this country to allow this to be done. It's all about the dollar, the bottom line. All right? That's what these people could care less about your baby, about your pregnant wife, about your pregnant daughter, your pregnant granddaughter, your children, nothing. They don't, and they always got these so-called children's programs as if they give a damn about children. Every children's program is all about them making $1. And they just hide behind the name like child support. So that it sounds noble and it's such a good cause, and it's just a racket and a scam that does more damage to children than it does to help them. When you actually know what I know and understand what's really going on with that one thing in particular. Okay? You don't believe the science? You're against the science? You're anti-science looking ass. All right, this is Timothy. Is it 2 and 6? It was the 2 Timothy. Salakia. 1 Timothy. It's 1 Timothy 6, not 2 and 6. I'm tweaking. 1 Timothy 6 and 20. 6 and 20. 1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings of oppositions of science, falsely so called. So this is one of my favorite scriptures because we live this every day. We're in the time of this prophecy of this scripture coming to pass. We were warned of it, that there will come a time when false science, not real science, would be used to try to get around the truth, and used to dupe the people. All right, because there's a couple things that's come out about the Band-Aid and the Band-Aid research that's proven it's a fraud 100% up and down. And I've tempted to play these videos, but I don't want to get a strike. So I'm gonna try to get that in some other way. It's maybe some way down the road. All right, but let's go back to what he said, to his message, and then we'll wrap this up, because we've been telling you that the biggest I told you in the history of I told yous was coming. All right, so he sent me this article. New York Times, climate, fertilizer, sludge farm, etc. And it says something's poisoning America's farm and fertilizer. And this is a crazy thing. When he sent this to me, I was just speaking about him. And so I texted him. I said, was just thinking about you, brother. That's wild. Yep, every time it rains, I get a dry throat and headaches the next day. All right, and then then I wrote, I can't wait to read this article. And he wrote back, you were right once again, my friend. All right. Then he wrote, my house has toxic mold. I'm spending over $10K to fix it. Trying to please that woman. right? But yeah, the curses are embracing, and it basically Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's starting to wear the curses like a coat. All right, he's not protected. His woman is not protected. He's getting mugged. He's getting killed. He's going to jail. He's getting exposed. The law that used to protect him, that he could hide behind, is now working against him. So one last scripture. All right, and this is such a fitting scripture to the time that we're in. You could damn near read it in every lesson at this point. All right, but this is Ecclesiasticus 25:7, and it reads, "There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have the joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy." Kol Halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah HaKodash Kwam Yasharallah Abad Babal.